write songs and protect my art. Cause I ain't your savior, I ain't your threat. I'm just the voice of the boy that the system forgets. I am what they ain't, so stitched in pain. They spell my name wrong, cause they fear what it claims.
If silence had a throne, you ruled with no name, while I wrote you in smoke and signed it with flame.
A chessboard spilled across Constantinople floors. Ink dripped from daggers I never used to wars. Loyalty's a vow signed in mercury and sand. You kiss rings that turn to snakes inside your hand. I set letters by breath folded in grave dirt. Each line stitched the silk of a traitor's shirt. Ravens with razors flew past the Senate walls, while you sat in velvet shadows watching the empire fall. Genghis in the marrow, Machiavelli in my grin. I seen marble empires collapse from within. Coins with your face still floating the wine, but truth ages different when served with a spine.
You taught me that silence is stronger than steel, so I wrote these verses for the ghosts that feel.
Your suits held secrets stitched in Sicilian threads. Even your smiles bowed their heads before you bled. I walked through smoke signals, opera in the ash. Heard sermons from killers with Sinatra mustache. The code was never written, just passed in the stare. From one wolf to another, breathing ceremonial air. We drank from goblets carved out of Rome's regret, and played poker with angels who ain't folded yet. I forgave you in verses buried in bass lines. Each beatbox a tombstone and organized rhymes. Mob tactics twisted in biblical parables. Even Moses would have buckled under your variables.
I write to the silence that raised me in stone, but some kings die better when they die alone.
Yeah, I seen angels in bandanas and devils with clean hands. Hymns with a switchblade tucked in waistband. Mama said God don't sleep, but I know men who do. Left me in alleys with hymns and a switch to chew. We wore choir robes on Sundays dipped in white light, but Monday had razors tucked tight for the fight. It's a gospel of grit, communion with fear. When you dodge both the cross and the judge in the mirror. Pop says sing loud but keep your back to the wall. Salvation's a choir but the streets still call. We prayed through clenched fists, hope in a chokehold. Sang wait in the water while the water ran cold. You ain't no fate till it cost your skin, and you still showed up just to bleed and begin.
Arrows and razor blades, dressed in grace and rage, saving souls with bruises deep, still singing from the cage.
The deacon sold weed and the usher pack heat, but they hugged like redemption could sweep every street. The pulpit cracked when the choir caught fire. It was gospel and gun smoke, truth never tire. I seen brothers get baptized and fade in the mist. Had halos in the photo, now chalk on the wrist. But we keep singing, broken notes, crooked spine. A hymn for the hustlers just biding their time. This ain't blasphemy, nah, this is belief. When you carry your sermon through shadows and grief. The altar got cracks and the Bible got stains, but I still wear my robe through the hunger and pain.
Choir robes and razor blades, dressed in grace and rage, saving souls with bruises deep, still singing from the cage.
Time don't vanish, it settles in the frame. Reflections hold stories the mouth never name. I see my shadow blink back through the glass. Wore my mother's silence like a chapel sash. Nothing but echoes stitched into the skin, talking to a mirror like it's next of kin. This ain't vanity, it's scripture on display. Wrinkles form maps where the hurt used to lay. The girl in the frame got questions for days, but the past got a habit of looking away. I combed through my childhood like archives of grief. Found hymns in the hush, found war and belief. Got bruises that learned to sing in key. Lessons dressed up in modesty. I ain't changing, just shedding what never was mine. Like autumn dew leaves when the branches align. The mirror's a witness, don't ask for applause. It just show you your ghosts and reopen the doors.
The mirror has memory more than the eye. It holds all the faces you buried in time. You think you forget, but glass don't lie. The past watches quiet from the other side.
She said, hold your chin up, but let your thoughts bend. The reflection looked wiser than my oldest friend. Wasn't raised with riches, but I had full moons and a voice that could braid pain into tunes. I saw myself in a crack shop window, rain trickling down like lost innuendos. Hair tied back, heart wide open, writing truth in fog like the glass was spoken. My mind is a museum and time is the curator, framed each floor like divine illustrator. Some days I feel like the version I feared. Other days I feel like I'm finally here. It's a tightrope walk with no net beneath. Faith in the fall and grace in the grief. The mirror don't blink when you wanna pretend. It's just waiting for you at the end.
The mirror has memory more than the eye. It holds all the faces you buried in time. You think you forget, but glass don't lie. The past watches quiet from the other side.
I ain't running from what made me. I'm just learning how to hold it gentler. Every scar knows its shape and the glass remembers every name I try to outgrow.
Some prayers never leave the room. They were whispered in, they just float and fold into the curtains.
I used to kneel on velvet, talk to God like a friend, but silence echoed back like he ain't gonna pretend. My grandma lit the sage, said, child, hush your doubt, but the faith in her voice had a tremble I caught. See, I grew up on hymns that wore church shoes thin, on altars built for rent, slips and bottle cap says. They told me miracles come slow like molasses in March, so I spoke in soft code, try to soften my heart. The roof leaked truth in a minor key tone, while the Bible in the kitchen smelled like gold cologne. And I wondered if redemption got a door I can knock, or if I'm just rehearsing for a eulogy talk.
For the Lord prays in the folds of the night, soft as a whisper, hard as a fight.
I seen halos in the smoke of my uncle's last drag. He told me truth is a weight that don't come with a tag. I held guilt in my chest like a hymn gone stale. Couldn't sing it out loud, so I scribed it in braille. The preacher passed out, the choir kept on. Their robes like rust, but they still sang strong. And I sat in that pew with a hole in my soul, trying to bargain with time, trying to patch up the hole. You ever cry so soft, the walls lean in like the room itself? Holding your sin, I got prayers I don't say, cause I know they still wait, folded neat in the dark with a hand of grace.
The Lord prays in the folds of the night, soft as a whisper, hard as a fight.
Warrior prayers in the folds of the night, soft as a whisper, hard as a fight. I stitch my hope into the seams of the rug and bowed my head, not for mercy, but love.
Push the edges on the lead. Tell your lady. In sepia tones, I still whisper my name. I was born in a frame without color or creed, where the echoes of struggle with scripture to read. My grandmother's prayers still drift through the vents. Smell the sage and cornbread, pain and incense. The sun hit the blinds in a Morse code flash as my mother ironed silence in the linen and ash. Every wrinkle in the fabric told a sermon in grief. I grew up on lessons that spoke through a reef. The pictures on the mantle wore time like a scar. Ghosts in suspenders who dance with cigars. And I stare at the ceiling till stories took shape, till the wallpaper peeled back and turned into tape.
Shadows in the frame, still calling me home. I hear them in the silence, I'm never alone.
My uncle had a laugh like a low saxophone. Left for the war, but the war came home. He spoke through the rim of a bourbon-stained glass. Told me, boy, time don't heal, it just lets things pass. I walked past the church where the roof always wept, where the preacher sang blues and the organist slept. Truth came slow like a winter train's breath, but every track it laid down felt closer to death. I learned that heaven ain't a place, it's a tone. In the moan of a record when you're dancing alone. And hell ain't flames, it's forgetting their face. It's staring at a photo that time can't replace.
Shadows in the frame, still calling me home. I hear them in the silence, I'm never alone.
They faded from view, but not from my verse. I carry that silence like rhythm, then curse.
Not the polished, not the pure, but the crack to endure.
I was born from the splinter, raised in the vault where the walls had stories and the silence could talk. My mother wore pain like a scarf in July, still smiled at the sky like the tears wasn't dry. Pops left prints on the door, none on the soul, but the lessons he skipped made me whole in a hole. Seed broken, they is proof that we tried. Every crack in my spine holds a verse I survived. The roof leaked light on the nights I would cry, so I slept on the floor where my thoughts couldn't lie. It's the jagged, the bruised, the crooked and bruised that make even scraps find a rhythm and blues.
Blessed are the cracks where the light breaks through. Every flaw I carry still points me to truth.
My cousin used to cut lines into the side of his face. Says sometimes the edge is the only clean place. I ain't judge him, just hugged him, gave him my shirt. We both wore hurt like a suit to church. We was raised on patches, stitched hope in the seams. Found warmth in the wreck and belief in the beams. I've seen gold in the rust, prayers in decay, and built temples from pain and kneel anyway. We ain't perfect, we pilgrims with pieces in hands, trying to build something sacred that still understands. And if heaven got a gate for the scarred and the black, I hope it swings wide when I carry my cracks.
Blessed are the cracks where the light breaks through. Every flaw I carry still points me to truth.
World don't love perfect, it loves real, it loves deep. And I'm just the mosaic of the secret top.
Before they gave me numbers, I had a name. And before I had a name, I was thunder without a cape.
Yeah. My name ain't just letters stitched in a line. It's a drum beat echo from an older time. It's my grand's lullabies in a war-torn tongue. My mother's prayer when she was barely young. It's the dirt road dreams of a migrant soul. The ink in a passport that never felt whole. They call it exotic, I call it sacred. Each syllable a land that never got wasted. Say it wrong and I still rise calm, but know that my name got ancestral charm. Got queens in my bloodline, kings in my ache. Rebels in rhythm, I don't flinch when I break. When they tried to rename, I wrote in defiance. Etched every alias in spiritual science. My name got smoke, it got sky, it got fight. It's a country uncolonized, dressed in light.
A name is a nation carrying breath. It's born through the silence our elders left. They tried to erase it, rewrite the claim, but I found my power when I spoke my name.
Don't shorten it, bend it, or bleach its tone. This name fed the fire when I walked alone. It don't need stage lights or marquee signs. It rang loud in villages without no time. It's carved in bark, whispered through steam, a river of meaning under every dream. You ask what I rep the unheard. The girls with names too rich for your tongue's curve. They laughed in class when the roll call hit. Now my voice get looped like a parliament writ. Names ain't labels, they're spells we survive. Maps of the bloodline, ancient and live. If you say mine, say it like rain, with reverence, rhythm, and ancestral flame. I don't need borders to tell me I'm real. I built a nation off syllables they tried to steal.
A name is a nation carried in breath. It's born through the silence our elders left. They tried to erase it, rewrite the claim, but I found my power when I spoke my name.
Say your name like a drum.
Yeah, we'll show you this drum. Oh Lord, do you still see?
Yeah, I saw my childhood peeling like paint on a tenement wall, where the echo of dice shakes still answer my call. Iron steps whisper stories when I climb late at night. Rust on a fire escape shimmering under moonlight. A shoelace for a belt, chalk lines near the stoop. Auntie boiling collard greens, kids huddled in a group. We knew the world through cracked glass and corner talk, and dreams that skip like records when we tried to walk. I wrote my name in the fog on a frozen bus window. Watch it fade like my cousin after that one crescendo. The city raised wolves dressed in corduroy prayer, where the priest might bless you but nobody care.
Don't fall, hold on to the railing, hold on to the railing. The rust don't bite, but the silence is paling.
My notebook got stains from the kitchen floor steam, where mama's gospel played beside a morphine dream. Granny's hand shivered holding a wooden cross, told me the fire escape's safe, just don't forget who's lost. I seen halos dangle from the telephone wire, saints with ashy knuckles praying over bar choir. The older I get, the more ghosts I collect, names scribbled in my rhyme book, years I can't correct. The skyline used to shine like a blade in the dark, now hums like a blues note bleeding in the park. I never climbed for escape, just to breathe and to think, with rust beneath my fingers and my thoughts on the brink.
Don't fall, hold on to the railing, hold on to the railing. The rust don't bite, but the silence is paling.
The fire escape ain't just metal, it's memory. It's the distance between the world inside and the sky that never came down to help. Rope bits and red, what the truth please cleaner. My glass in my hand and my hands ain't cleaner. Rope bits and red, what the truth please cleaner. My glass in my hand and my hands ain't cleaner. I wrote a letter in the dark where the candles wept slow, with ink like confession and paper like snow. Each line held a sin I ain't brave enough to say, so I folded the guilt and I tucked it away. The stains on the page was from Merlot to shame, mixed with verses that trembled when I wrote your name. See, time ain't a healer, it's just good at disguise. Put a suit on regret, let it dance in your eyes. The choir outside sang a note I once knew, but they pitch lost its color the moment I lost you. The words never mailed, they just slept in the drawer like a door left unlocked that don't open no more.
Wine stained letters I wrote you at night. Truth in heat in my wrongs in the light.
I traced every vowel like a fingerprint's ghost, like the scent of your coat when I needed you most. It's a war in the chest when you bottle your grace, so I poured you in verses and drank at your pace. This ain't about closure, it's dirt on the broom, a voice in the hallway that lingers in rooms. Love ain't a moment, it's what don't decay. It's the sound of your footsteps that never fade away. The paper turned brittle, the truth still intact. A psalm in my palm that I never sent back. So if you find me someday with the wine still dry, know I bled what I could, but I never quite died.
Wine stained letters I wrote you at night.
She planted lilacs every spring, but they never took. Some things ain't meant to blossom where the world won't look. The soil stayed stubborn, the seasons stayed cold. She wore the same coat from when she was 12 years old. Hands in the dirt like a prayer gone unheard. She whispered the seeds like each one was a word. The house smelled like wood smoke and water rot, like time forgot how to tick on that block. Her brother got caught in a storm with no name, a chalk outline where the flowers won't claim. Still she dug in the ground with a cracked silver spoon, talking to ghosts by the light of the moon. They said lilacs don't bloom where the sorrow run deep, where the roots drink grief and the angels don't sleep.
Yeah, lilacs don't bloom, still she plants in the dark, hoping something might grow from a memory spark.
They bulldozed the lot, said the land had no worth, but she held her breath and pressed palms to the earth. Something still lives here, she swore through a jar, even if it's just silence that knows what it saw. And me, I still watch from the rusted gate bend, wondering if hope got a place it can end. I seen kids lose their light in the middle of June, and mamas lose sons before hitting the womb. But still, she returns, a bouquet in a grip, a paper-made petals, a wine on the lip. She lays them down slow like an offering true to a garden and never knew